guys, Absolute Duelist here, coming at you with another One Piece video. And in today's One Piece video, guys, I have some actually really good news. I managed to come top 64, 46th place in the OPE online treasure cup for the 18th of August. And guys, I am absolutely ecstatic. This is the highest I have come in any One Piece event so far. Like, honestly, I'm just so happy to say this. I've had so many top 128s, so many high scores, but just never was able to break into the top 64, and finally did it. Next time we'll be aiming for that top 32, which would be absolutely ecstatic. Obviously, we want to aim for the top, but hey, if we can make it, we can make it, right? So yeah, but what did we play for this event? We played Black Yellow Luffy. Now, Black Yellow Luffy is a really good deck in my personal opinion. Probably the best deck of the format in my opinion, just because I feel like he has the best roundabout way of playing the game. He's a leader that is basically majority of the time 7k plus power. He is a leader that can gain back life. He is a leader that can go ahead and do a lot with all of the stuff in the deck that just make it so versatile and so consistent for aggression and damage and protection realistically as well, that I really do consider this to be probably the best deck of the format in my opinion. So yeah, but what do we actually play against in the tournament? Well, we played against 3 NL players. These are the easiest matchups in my personal opinion. I don't really have an issue with NL because the whole idea is that NL wants to go ahead and grind out the game as long as possible, and we kind of get more advantage the longer the game goes on anyway, so I'm fine with that. We played against 1 Red Purple Law. That was not a hard matchup either. I just got to keep clearing their board and just keep swinging big, and as long as I don't let them have a Shiraya, they're not really going to have a good time. I played against 2 Perona, funny enough, 1 in round 3 and 1 in the final round that I played in, where I actually got Makino into life with having an ace and a subo. So turn 2 I was just livid. I was going insane because it was the best Makino I've ever had. We played against 2 Black Yellow Luffy. Lost to one of them because I couldn't draw a Kid Ace. It was very unfortunate. I just needed to draw 1 Kid Ace to get that final swing in, but couldn't do it, sadly. We played against 1 Rob Lucci. My best matchup in my personal opinion, because they can't remove any of our stuff because we just keep, you know, renewing Sabo every single turn pretty much. So it was a little unfortunate that we only played against 1 Rob Lucci throughout the entire event. And then we played against 1 Jewelry Bonnie, which was round 5, and I'm not gonna lie guys, this deck cannot beat Jewelry Bonnie. It's just an auto lose. Like, yes, there may be some certain situations where, yeah, you've got a good chance of being it because they didn't draw good or anything, but this guy had the perfect curve. He had the Cavendish into the Basil Hawkins, into the 9-drop Zoro, into the 10-drop Doflamingo, so I really couldn't do anything in that matchup. But nonetheless, I think this deck performed very well. I really do like my list. I was making a lot of last minute changes because obviously I didn't have a lot of time to test for this event because, as some people may know, I have been getting over some recent medical issues. So I did put as much effort into this as possible, and I did make a few last minute changes as well from the small amount of testing that I actually did get. So I'm very happy with how the deck performed overall. So yeah, but like, I really do like this deck. He is a very good leader, having the ability that says if you have 2 Don on him, trash 1 card in your hand and put 2 5 costs from either your hand or your trash into your life if you have no life. It's very strong, and I just really like him for that because he essentially, like, he's a better Whitebeard in my mind, just because Whitebeard loses life quick, but this deck you're taking your life to go ahead and put more life in, which I think is really good. And yeah, it makes more sense because it's also a 9k leader. It's just very hard to get over, in my opinion. So yeah, so this is what we played. We're going to go ahead and show you guys the list, and we're going to have some fun. So let's go ahead and get into it. So starting off with the Luffys we played. We obviously played 4 Child Luffy. Your standard playing 4 of this, there's no real reason to debate it. He's going to be able to play out your Luffys from your life, so you want to be playing 4 of him. Along with him, we obviously play the 4 Bigger Luffy. This is one of your best cards in the deck just because it really does do a lot. It basically is a big swinging character that also gives you draws and helps get to your life to 0 as quickly as possible. There's a lot of the time where if we're not going to be playing something like Sabo by putting it into life with Hiyori, we're going to be playing this instead just so we can go ahead and have the big body to start swinging into our opponent's life early in the game while also getting those free draws as well. It keeps our hand big. It also helps us get to the point where we can go ahead and kill our opponent, which is just, you know, very good. There's no downside to it whatsoever. And then along with it, we also play the other 5-cost Luffy. This Luffy, I think, is... I'm a bit indifferent with this one at times. I think it's really good against decks like RP Law, against decks like Rob Lucci. I think it has a lot of versatility against those decks, because the whole point of it is that if you have this Luffy out, you're going to keep it on the board for a turn so you can at least get one swing with it. But then you're also going to go ahead and remove it of your own fruition, just so you can go ahead and pop like a Rob Lucci, a Shiraya, a blocker of some kind. Like, it serves a purpose of being a card that removes other cards, and it does it very well, but also giving you the ability to draw more cards, which is very nice, because unlike this Luffy, if you don't have life, it can't give you a draw. So this one's very good just for the fact that if you don't need it, you can just go ahead and trash it instantly to get another card in your hand to have for either counter power, because if the counter power is going to be more important than having the 6k body on the board, or just being removal in general, which will be very useful as well. Like, it's a very, very good card. I don't know if I'll play 4 of it going forward, because this was the first time I'm actually piloting this deck for a big event, because like I think it's a very strong card, but I think I'd probably cut it down to 3 if I was to change the list a bit. Just a little insight on things that I've noticed throughout the tournament as well, because I thought I should give you guys some ideas too. But nonetheless, it's still a very, very good card, and you should be playing it in the deck, at least 3 in my opinion, being removal and also draw power. Next for the Subos, we obviously play the 4 Kid Subo. No need to debate this, it's Kid Subo. He's very, very strong. He gives you the ability to play the best card in your deck, which is the 5-cost Subo, but one of the best cards in the deck. Being a card that helps you siphon through your deck, get the 5 costs into your trash, get the ability to get to Gecko Morias quicker, get the ability to be a blocker, make it think so your things are indestructible, basically. It's really just an all-round great card. There's no bad side to it. Like, the only matchup you really don't want to see it in is like one like Dofi, because it's going to be put to the bottom of the deck, so you'd rather have something like this Luffy so you can trash it to get the advantage out of it anyway. Like, honestly, this card is absolutely insane in every other scenario, so he's just very, very strong. Protection that draws cards, that siphons your hand, it's just very, very strong. For aces, we're playing 3 of each ace. Now, ace is an interesting one in my opinion. Like, obviously you want to play the kid ace, he's very good, he's going to play out the bigger ace, but I'm a little iffy on him. Like, just before the tournament, I was only playing 2 of the aces. So I was playing 2-2 with playing the event that searches the Luffy, Subo, or ace cards in the deck. But I was like, I feel like this deck needs a bit more aggression, and you need to be able to see these cards at times as well. So I chose to go ahead and put 2 more ace in at the last moment, and I don't actually regret this. I think 3 is the optimal number for this specific character in the deck, just because he's gonna give you the ability to rush into your opponent. There's a lot of the times in the early game where going ahead and rushing early on is going to be very, very important, and can make your opponent waste resources that they don't really want to waste at all. So that's very, very useful. So I'm indifferent about it, but I think this card is actually kind of necessary as a free of, both of these as free ofs, because they're just going to be useful, and they do give you that ability to go ahead and rush down your opponent, which is something that's really good for this deck. Going on to more utility pieces, we're playing 4 Garp. Garp's just a good card. It's counter power, it's search power. There's times where I literally swung with it in the tournament. Like, I think I swung this 4-7 with it at one point, and it won me the game because I was able to swing with it. Like, it's just a very, very good character overall, and you want to be playing 4 of it for the search ability and the options. Like, it's one of your best turn ones. Next, we're playing 2 Imperial Ivankov. This is basically it's a special case scenario card, like I call it, because the card is very good, don't get me wrong. Being a blocker that can go ahead and trash one of your life to put a character into your life is very, very strong, and gives you the ability to play your bigger characters earlier on, especially if you do end up going first. It's like, it gives you that ability on the 5 Dawn turn to go ahead and get to your life, right? Which is very, very nice. But I don't really like this card overall. It's a very decent card. You have to play it, in my opinion, because there are times where you need to play it off like Gecko Moria, which actually did come up, so you could go ahead and have the additional blocker, or there's times where you just have to play it down to get rid of your last life, so you can start cycling with Luffy in ways as well. But I really am just not the biggest fan of the card. I think the card is mandatory, you have to play it, but my personal preference on the card is it's not it's not the best card. It's like your last option card where you don't really want to be playing it, but you have to play it at times just because when it comes up, it really does win you the game. So it's just one of those last-ditch effort cards that can give you that advantage and win you the games at times, which is nice. Next, we play 2 Kuzan. I play this card purely for the fact where if I can't go ahead and go into a Hiyori into another kid to go ahead and bring out a big character, I'll normally end up be playing the Kuzan just so I can go ahead and get an additional draw, and then the Kuzan can go ahead and also be an ability to decrease the opponent's character's cost to be able to KO bigger things with the Luffy, which does come up at times, but it's not amazing. Like against one of the Enel players, this did come up where I went ahead and played this down. They then proceeded to play a 7-drop Enel, and then I went ahead and swung, decreased the 7-drop Enel, tried to kill it with the Superman Luffy, and then he decided to protect it instead, and then because he protected it, I was just like, okay, so you've protected this, you've trashed your life, you trashed your card in hand, I'm just going to swing massive into your life, and if you don't got Yamato or something along those lines, then I'm going to take your life out. And he countered with majority of his hand, which I think was a big part of why I was able to win that game. So Kuzan is very decent. I think it's a very good card, but it does come down to personal preference with it, in my opinion, because it's a card that replaces itself, but I'm not too sure how good the card is overall, outside of just like the certain niche situations where it comes up with the 5-cost Luffy. Next, for the absolute most important card in your deck, you need to see this, at least one of this every single game, and that is Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria, as we know, is the best black card in the game, being a staple in every single black deck out there. This card is absolutely insane in this deck, and you want to see it every single time on your 10-don turn, just for the fact that you want to be able to put it down, you want to revive 2 of the children, you want to revive like Luffy, or you want to revive like Sabo, to go ahead and get 2 characters on board, and then also recycle your life with your leader ability. He is very, very strong. He's gonna be able to give you so much damage, and I tell you, the amount of times that this card won games for me, it's ridiculous. It's literally one of the key pieces to winning with this deck, and if this card actually ever got banned, I don't think Black Yellow Luffy as a deck would be able to function. So yeah, this card is mandatory in the deck. It is a straight up 4-of. The card is absolutely insane. Yeah, like there's no bad things to say about it, because it is just it's the best card in the deck. Like generally bringing back 2 kids, using leader ability to put 2 in life or 1 in life after bringing 1 out that you already had there. It's absolutely insane, guys. Like honestly, there's nothing bad I can say about this card. Okay. And then going on to 2K counters, we play 4 Flampe, play it on turn 1, take the bottom life 9 times out of 10 for me, draw an additional card. It's basically a +1 every single time in this deck, because you want to get to 0 life as soon as possible. For Hiyori, best 2K counter, turn 2, you're going to drop this and you're going to drop a kid, so you can go ahead and play a character by taking 1 of your life and putting 1 from hand into your life. Like, a lot of the time you want to see this in your opening 5, and if you don't see it, I would normally mulligan unless the hand is like decent already and has the ability to kind of like siphon life. It's just a very, very good card in this deck. 2 Makino. Makino is actually one of the few that I'm like, this was a decision that I chose to make because it can be absolutely insane. The logic behind Makino is basically, if I don't have Hiyori, if I don't have Flampe, this card says that I can take a life, look at the other 3 that I have there, and if there are any big Ace, Sabo, or Luffy's there, then I'm going to put them in a specific place so I can guarantee that I can play them. And in my final round of the tournament, I played this card on turn 1, looked at my life, saw that I had a Sabo and an Ace in life, and was like, I have Sabo and Ace in hand, I'm going to put these 2 on top, and I'm also going to put a Flampe on the bottom. I'm going to play another Flampe, because I did have another Flampe. I'm going to draw the Flampe at the bottom, and then I'm going to pass. My opponent then proceeded not to attack my life, because a lot of people don't want to attack the life of Luffy, just because it's going to help with the strategy that they have. And I was just like, yeah, I'm going to play Ace, I'm going to play Sabo, I'm going to drop the Ace, I'm going to drop the Sabo, 9k leader, swing 7 on turn 2, and swing 9 on turn 2. This card can be so powerful at times, that I feel like it just needs to be played. It really is a very strong card, a very, very good card. So I would highly recommend playing this, at least 2 in the deck. I don't think it's really mandatory in the deck, but when it pops off, guys, it bloody pops off. It really is just a very, very strong card at times, especially depending on what your life is. And then the last card that we actually play in the deck is 2 Perona. Perona is just another 2k that can be a turn 2 play. One of the games in the tournament, I actually managed to play both of these, and then one died, and I brought it back with Gecko Moria to siphon 3 cards out of my opponent's hand. It's kind of like the point of the card overall, where you want to use this to siphon your opponent's hand out, and at the very, very rare occasions, play it with the 5-cost Luffy, so you can go ahead and decrease your opponent's character by 3, and then just go ahead and kill a 7-cost. Like, it's very rare where that happens, but it can come up. But like, this is just mainly here to siphon your opponent's hand on turn 2 if you don't have any other plays with kids or anything along those lines. So yeah, but guys, like, that is the entire list for my top 46th place deck profile for the OPE Treasure Cup. Honestly, I am so happy how well I did in this event. Like, honestly, you don't understand, guys, how I've been doing in this game and how it's been like, I just keep hitting the top 128. I'm not passing it. I'm not getting to that prize card that we all want, and I'm so happy that I finally made it there. I'm so happy that I finally gotten to the point where I can say I've won a prize card in One Piece. It feels so good to have finally reached that point. But guys, that's all I have to say for this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more One Piece content, and Black Yellow Luffy might be what I'm taking to the Nationals, guys. So I'll see you in the next one. Absolute Duelist signing out. Later.